Healing doesn't happen in therapy. Healing happens when you experience truth. I have one client who was special ops in the military, and his story is unbelievable. He's the guy that, they call in the middle of the night so that they can bring him, around the world and drop him from a helicopter so he can go in and do this secret mission. And he, after being retired for years, had extreme PTSD. We had one 45-minute conversation. It was our first conversation. I didn't know him, and I knew nothing about his background. And the first 15 minutes, we were talking generally, and all of a sudden he said, "I'm a vet." And I just sat there and watched the energy, and it just completely opened. And they showed me a scene of him in the middle of a war zone. And it was on the other side of the world. I could see everything. I could see all the details. I can still see it to this day. And this was 15 years ago, maybe less, maybe 12. But it was in the middle of an exercise. I don't know what the right terms are because I'm not in the military. I don't have any training, but there was a child involved. And I explained to him what they were showing me. And I said, there was a child involved, and this child passed away during this exercise. And this, I don't know, there's a better word than exercise, but I just don't know what it is. Anyways, he passed away. And the other person on the other end of the phone was very, very quiet. And I said, "Is that correct?" And, he confirmed. And I said, "When you came home after that rotation, that the way that procedure was handled changed, right? So there was now a different approach to that scenario." And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "That's why that little boy gave his life. That's why that child died, because he knew if he gave his life, thousands of others would live because the procedure itself changed." And I have goosebumps still, but this, to this day, but this person, the person on the other end of the phone, my client, he was crying because it was a release of all this stored up grief and shame that he had been carrying for this child. I mean, this is not really the time to get into the whole fact that, we're not meant to hunt other humans, and humans aren't meant to be hunted, period. And humans are not meant to die at the hands of other humans. It's just not how it was meant to be. And we carry a significant amount of grief. But the point of me sharing this story is to help you understand that we don't even really understand where our grief is until we hear the truth. And what happens is the moment you hear it, it instantly unlocks that vault that you've been hiding behind, right? So you've been hiding behind the grief and the shame and the fear and the sadness. Truth is what heals. It creates freedom. And I can tell you that this human now, he healed in such an incredible way that he has continued in the healing journey. And now he is healing other humans in remarkable ways. He's also opened up and discovered so many more of his gifts that were just on the surface before. And now they've become who he is because he was able to free himself from that guilt, from that shame, from that sadness. That's what was causing his PTSD without even understanding it. You can't do that in therapy. You can't, because it's not you talking about it. If you talking about it was going to fix it, then it would already have happened. It's impossible if you don't have the universal perspective. That's how this works.